I know it's been a long time since I've been on camera, and I should have made some videos before this, and I currently have about 230 subscribers. About a month ago I had 4,000, but my channel got taken down. So I'm sorry I haven't sort of made another video sooner. I have been up to my neck with work which I didn't make a video of. It was really quite a very mundane job that I was doing, and it was also quite stressful. So let's just get to what I need to talk about, which is the British films. There's a lot to talk about. If you're new to the channel, hi. And just to go over what I've said previously on my previous channels, as much as I try to put classic British films out there, it is getting increasingly difficult to do so. Even films, I've been doing this for a number of years, but even for films that were previously okay on YouTube, they suddenly have acquired a copyright status that restricts me from uploading them. And so with this new channel, I'm trying my best not to get any more copyright strikes. In fact, I try that with all my channels. However, I'm not always successful. So what I sort of thought that I would do is talk about how I can get these films out to you without incurring these sort of copyright strikes that take my channels down. Before I get on to that, let me just tell you that the other thing that I find, which is a recurring problem for me getting these films out to you, is that many of the films that I upload are restricted, copyright restricted to some countries. So there are films that I have out there on my channel that are blocked in the United States and Canada, for example, but they're visible to everybody else, you know, the UK, Ireland, Australia, etc., my main audiences. And I have a number of those, and it works vice versa. There's some that are only can be seen in the US and restricted here. The first, I'm going to list some of these, and the first film which I uploaded just a few days ago was the 1948 film of Oliver Twist. It's a particularly good film. It's directed by David Lean. Stars Robert Newton, Kay Walsh, and a bunch of other people, but it's a particularly atmospheric, very detailed, great film. I am a fan of David Lean. I am a fan of Charles Dickens. So that's worth watching. However, everybody can see it around the world, except if you're in the United States or if you're in Canada. So what I'm going to do is, if you look in the description box below, I will provide you with a link where you can just click on the link and go and watch the film if you are in the US or if you're in Canada. And that will take you to a different platform where you can see the film. There's no ads or subscription or anything like that. You can just go and watch the film minus the ads, which I think is always a bonus. I hate ads. So if you want to go and watch David Lean's 1948 version of Oliver Twist, you'll find a link to that in the description box below. Another film which I recently uploaded, because it was Halloween just the other day, and I uploaded The Innocents with Deborah Kerr, which is sort of gothic psychological horror, and I think that's available globally. But there was another film I uploaded, which was Blithe Spirit, written by Noel Coward, also directed by David Lean, and it's a rather good film. It stars Rex Harrison, who is a writer, and he arranges for a clairvoyant to come and do a séance at his house to help him write the book that he's writing. But he's an absolute non-believer, and the clairvoyant in this film is played by Margaret Rutherford, and she's absolutely brilliant. It's a perfect part for her, playing Madame Arcati. But again, that's worth watching. That was made in 1945. It's shot in Technicolor, and it's blocked in the United States and Canada. Again, I will leave a link in the description box below, where you can go and see it free of ads, subscriptions, and all of that sort of thing. So that's there for you to watch if you're in one of these countries where you can't watch it. Going back to David Lean and Charles Dickens, there is the very wonderful film of Great Expectations. Now, that can't be uploaded onto YouTube whatsoever. There was a time about 10 years ago when it was fine on YouTube without restriction. For some reason, it seems to have acquired a very restrictive copyright status. I highly recommend this film. So, David Lean shot 2 Charles Dickens films. Obviously, the one I've spoken about, which was made in 1948, Oliver Twist, and its predecessor, which is Great Expectations, shot in 1948. So it stars John Mills as Pip, if you're familiar with the story of Great Expectations. Valerie Hobson plays Estella, the older Estella, and Gene Simmons plays Estella as a young girl. Bernard Miles plays Joe Gargery, and Francis L. Sullivan, the very rotund guy, plays Mr. Jaggers, the lawyer, and Finley Curry as Abel Magwitch. It is a classic story. It's a wonderful film, but it's completely blocked on YouTube. Again, what I will do is leave a link to where you can go and see it. If you look in the description box, there's a link where you can see it. It's well worth watching. But then, as I say, I'm a fan of David Lean and Charles Dickens. And finally, in my short list, there's another film. It's called The Franchise Affair. Totally unrelated to David Lean or anything like that. It was made in 1951. It stars Michael Dennison as a local solicitor lawyer and Dulcie Gray. It wasn't a great box office well-known. It's not a great well-known film, but it's a very. I really like this film. I think it's a great film. But I mention it because it's another one of those films where it's restricted in some countries. So it's completely visible to everyone around the world, including the USA and Canada. However, it's been blocked in the UK and Ireland. So if you're in the UK and Ireland, I highly recommend The Franchise Affair. It's made in 1951. It's made in contemporary times to that time. It's a mystery sort of thing. It's about a girl who claims to have been kidnapped and forced to stay in an attic until she agrees to become a maid for these two ladies, a mother and daughter, who live in this kind of secluded large house surrounded by a wall. Anyway, it's a really good film, I think, and well worth watching. And again, so if you're in the UK and Ireland, although I can see it's on my channel, if you're in the UK and Ireland, you won't see it on my channel because it's been blocked here. So again, I will leave a link to that film in the description box below. I highly recommend it. So that's a brief list of just 4 films where they've been blocked in various countries, and it's a frequently occurring issue that I have. Now, as I say, I've been really busy with work, and I currently now have a couple of weeks off. So I hopefully I can make some more videos. People have been asking in the comments, because for those of you who remember on my last channel, I started making quite a few videos about the work that I do, because it's such a sort of large part of my life. Let me be honest, my current situation is that, frankly, I'm semi-retired, and my recent focus in the last 3, 4, 5 years has primarily been about building restoration, external building restoration. Although I started out as I'm a trained carpenter first, and I worked a lot on refurbishing house. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. I'm going to make a separate news update about my work videos. So that's one thing, and I hope to bring more of those out. And what I might do is put up on the channel some examples of my previous work videos, so that you get an idea of kind of what I do. But as I say, I'm sort of semi-retired, and where I used to work so much more on very large projects with large teams of people, frankly, that sort of big site work I'm not so interested in anymore. So I'm quite happy doing my restoration projects on buildings. It's something I enjoy. However, as we come into winter time, I'm now in a position where I can say, no thank you very much, it's too bloody cold, I'll stay at home. So as I say, I'm semi-retired. I do have, with regards to the work, I do have, because obviously I'm based in London, but I do have a project coming up next year, hopefully starting in the spring, which is to do up an entire house. A friend of mine just bought a house down in Devon. It needs new kitchens, bathrooms, roof, the whole works. Obviously I can't do that on my own. I will get a team of people. I've been doing this long enough and I know enough people. But that's all the way down in the southwest of England, in Devon. And frankly, it would be quite nice to kind of just move down there for sort of 9 or 10 months next year, or whatever it takes to do whatever's necessary on this house. Be a nice break. So I'm not going to be doing too much outside work through the winter months. Not externally anyway. I've got a kitchen to fit for a friend of mine, but it's all kind of bog standard stuff, really. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Let's not talk about my work. So what I want to do is, if I can at least once a week or maybe twice a week, bring to you a film that is not otherwise on YouTube. There are so many other film channels. Mine obviously is dedicated to British films, but there are so many channels that have copies of the films that I have on my channel. All right, I've got kind of high definition copies. I get the best prints that I possibly can to put up there. But there's a lot of films that cannot be seen on YouTube. So what I hope to be able to do is kind of meet up with you via camera, via where we are now, to introduce to you a film that is not available on YouTube but is a classic British film, and provide links to where you can see them. I'm just trying to avoid the copyright strikes and be able to bring you a wider content, because what's available on YouTube without copyright restrictions is not wholly representative of British filming as a whole. Although there are some good films up there, there are so many more that I could show you. I think that's about all, really. Oh yes, yeah. So that's the British films things, and I've talked about that I want to make more work videos, because I have been asked for them. But I'm going to make a separate news update about the work thing, because I may be asking your advice about which way to go with those videos. Perhaps instructional videos or whatever, but I'll make a separate news update about that. But the other thing I want to do is to do some video work, tours around London and stuff, and I've been asked about that too. So what I'll probably do is make separate playlists, so that, you know, my work, British films, and the tours that I plan to make. And so I've got the next couple of weeks are free for me, and frankly, I've been working my butt off recently, so I'm going to take a couple of days off, and then I'll probably get out there with the camera and start shooting some video. If of any of the films that I've spoken to about this evening, if you enjoy them, if you've clicked on links, if you have any issues, please leave it in the comment section below. If you like the films, leave it in the comments. If you have any suggestions, I try not to do too. Please don't ask me for too many in the way of requests. I'm aware of what films are out there, and what I need to, and heaven knows there are hundreds that deserve to be seen, or that I feel ought to be in the public domain for everybody to see. These films are an art form in themselves, and I don't think that should be restricted. Yeah, I think I've run out of things to say. Anyway, as I say, I hope to make some more videos in the next 1 or 2 weeks, and I hope you're all good, and I will continue to upload a film a day if I can, when I can, and I hope to bring you more British movies and more other videos. Oh, the other thing, yeah. The other thing, look, I don't do, you won't find me on social media. This is the only place that I have an internet presence. I don't do Twitter or Facebook or whatever it is. I'm not on any of those things. And I don't do the AI thing, and you won't find me saying like and subscribe. I really don't care if you do, you don't. I'm going to do this anyway. So I don't do this for subscribers. My channels have never been monetized. I do this because I like doing it. Yeah, so there'll be no artificial intelligence on this channel. In fact, there'll be very little organic, original human intelligence. It's just me. So I will continue to do my thing because I enjoy doing it. If you wish to donate to the channel, please do. I'll leave a link to where you can donate. It's all appreciated, and I hope to bring you some more films soon. But I think that's all for now. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you. But that's all from me for now. Bye.